Welcome to our audio commentary coverage. This broadcast is not an official product of this competition.
Throw right by the corner flag. It's been taken by Yaley. Just a couple of yards from the flag on the right hand side, the far side for Sunderland. Launches it into the penalty area, heading out to the edge. Shot comes in, touched over. Good stop. Fizzing drive. Alfonso was in the way. It was a good hit from Siddiqui. It was swerving as well. Turned over by the right hand. And Alfonso good stop. Really good save. Gone for a corner. Caught hold of that, it's Siddiqui. Some reports in the paper this week that he was being sought after by clubs in the like of Manchester United. Is stop any harm. Corner from the right then. Hume to take it. Comes towards the far side, headed on by Ballard, headed away by Wan-Bissaka. Instead trying to clear their lines, but it's headed back towards the penalty area. And they finally get rid of it now. All in their final third. Wan-Bissaka was very nearly sold short by the pass, and he's given the ball away on this near side. It's Lafay, but he didn't quite control it in terms of the throw. But early warning there for West Ham. Really good hit by Siddiqui. Away from Fonteriola. Socek gets a foot on it. It's headed on by Castellanos. He's gone through to Groves in the Sunderland goal. So the away side have started the better in these first 3 minutes here at the Stadium. Starting to Olympics, of course. Heroics of Farah and the like. Super Saturday. West Ham could do with the Super Saturday, but they've not started particularly well here. Once again have the ball. Rata, who crosses the halfway line, ships the ball towards the penalty area. It's over the head of Groby. It's been pursued by Mayenda, but Scholes can get his body between the end of the ball and ship it over the line. Pick. It's a nervy start for West Ham. Very good last week. And winning at Tottenham, even if they needed a stoppage time winner from Callum Wilson to secure the 3 points. Xhaka pushing on. It's their influential skipper. Just penalised for a handball just over the halfway line. And then the push on Reta. Free kick. Centre circle. Inside half. Sunderland fans who've made the long trip north east in full-throated voice. Chris Labrie, wonderful job he's done to get the side promoted and now doing so well in the Premier League. If you think that 40 points is usually regarded as rock solid safe, they're only 7 points from that. Was flipped on by wonderful job from Regis Labrie. They're not looking over their shoulders and feeling threatened by thoughts of relegation, which has happened to promoted sides so much in recent times, particularly sides that came up through the playoffs. The famous Sheffield United last May, of course. On the far side. To Devo. There's Thomas Socek. Outside his own half. It's the left to Devo. challenge. A challenge that he relishes. So look out for Brian Broby. I think he'll make a big impression on the Premier League in the next few years. Wouldn't surprise me at all if other clubs are interested in him in the course of time. That's a poor ball inside by Bowen, but West Ham just about managed to keep it, and they force a throw just inside Sunderland territory. On this near side, their right, taken by Wan-Bissaka. Short for Sojek, to Wan-Bissaka on the halfway line, almost on this near touchline. Both managers right on the edge of their technical areas early in the piece here. Sort of patrolling, and it's a good ball down the left-hand touchline. Cross in from Somerville, headed away over the far side for a throw, covering from Aldereta. Somerville found a little bit of space there. Didn't have many to aim at in the box though. Here's Wan-Bissaka now. Comes left to Bowen. He's got a chance to run at his man here, Bowen. Gets in a good cross towards the far post. Helped away by Mayenda, who was back, or Hume, who was back defending. Here's Bowen again though, running to the byline, chips the ball across, dangerously, it's goal! Beautiful goal! Crescencio Somerville rose to head the ball above Robin Ropes and put West Ham in front at the London Stadium. But that was all about the cross, really. Beautiful from Jared Bowen, who got outside Mandava, crossed from the byline, and Somerville arrived right on cue to head the ball high into the roof of the net, and the Hammers lead. Brilliant from Bowen, and a powerful header from Somerville, who's not the tallest, but he got above his man and buried it over the outstretched hand of Robin Ropes, and West Ham are in front. Not much Ropes could do about it, really. It was pretty close in on the edge of the 6-yard box, and Somerville's recent good form continues for West Ham. That's 4 goal contributions over the last 3 games now for the former Leeds man and the Dutch winger. So West Ham in front inside 15 minutes, and Sunderland must now respond. More bubbles in the air from West Ham United, but a throw level with the 18-yard area from the restart for Sunderland, who can send the heavy artillery forward for a long throw into the box. So West Ham don't want to be caught out having just scored. Ball is headed towards goal, and it bristles onto the top of the net. Well, that was a chance. It was Hume that got the final header. West Ham, well, the old saying goes, you're never more vulnerable than when you've just scored. They were very nearly caught out there. Hume just getting underneath the header, wafting it onto the roof of the net. But a good response from Sunderland to going behind. Certainly lit the touch paper, that early goal for West Ham. Alphonse Areola with the clearance deep into the Sunderland half. Pablo contests it, got his head to it twice, but only presented it to Sunderland. Mayenda ran forward. That's a good challenge from Manuel Fernandez. And West Ham have it on the far side with Scarles, who chips it over the halfway line. Bowen got a touch. Crescencio Somerville's got on the ball again, and he's released Wan-Bissaka down this right-hand side. Cuts back inside Wan-Bissaka. It's in the penalty area for Bowen. He's not got much on it, and it's blazed over the bar. He scuffed the shot, did Bowen, and it ran into the path, I think, of Castellanos. Or is it Pablo? It's Pablo. And he's whacked it over the bar from the left-hand corner of the 6-yard box. That was a big chance to double West Ham's lead. And It's gone awry. That should have been 2-0. Really should. Now West Ham might have an additional problem because they've got Manuel Fernandes on the floor. He has picked himself up. And on we go. But that should have been 2-0. Will West Ham regret that against the side who are so good at coming from behind? Bowen's shot was horrible. It was scuffed with the right foot. It was meant to be a shot and it bobbled into the path of Pablo. He just got it all wrong. Well, here are Sunderland coming forward themselves with Mundle just short of the penalty area. Plays the ball inside. Trey Hume out to the far touchline now, and Mukiele. Here's Siddiqui, that's a good ball, looking for Broby, but Todibo does just enough to hold off the Dutch striker. And the ball goes through to Alphonse Areola, looking clear right-footed over the halfway line. And bright sunshine here at the London Stadium. Horrific week in London, as it has almost everywhere, with just endless rain falling, but the pitch looks pretty good considering all that precipitation. But nice conditions for play today. Sunderland have the ball. Enzo Lefay goes it out to this left-hand touchline. Mundle can try and take on Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka forces him back though. There's Mandava, who was done by Bowen's cross for the opening goal. Ballard now back to Rose. Rose to Alderetta, short of the halfway line. Just in from this near touchline, the Sunderland left. Back inside. Rose is well out of his goal. Just touches it to his right. Ballard over the halfway line. Sunderland making progress up the right-hand side, but Todibo stabs it out for a throw to the visitors. It's 20 yards from the corner flag, so they'll bring the big men up from the back again. They were almost successful from the last long throw out on that far side, so they figure it's worth testing that out again. Ballard and Alderetta well forward, as is Hume. Broby lurking at the far post. It's flicked off a West Ham head and gone through to Alphonse Areola, who waves his team forward. It's Mavropanos that got something on that header. Alphonse Areola's ball is long in the direction of Pablo, but he couldn't get onto it. It's through to Rose. Sunderland moving forward once more, courtesy of Ballard. Ballard just passes it to his left, where Moretta is on the ball. Moretta sends it back to the right, to Ballard. Ballard over the halfway line. Broby is bundled over, says referee Bramall, by Mavropanos. It's a good physical battle, that. Broby just sort of back-heeled the ball towards an opponent, towards a teammate when he was taken a fraction late by Mavropanos. No malice intended, but definitely a free kick. Sunderland will settle over. They're sending the big men forward again to the edge of the West Ham penalty area. West Ham have been fragile of late. Free kick's taken short. Return to Hume, who sends a diagonal forward. Enzo Lefay with a pass into the box. Ballard gets the header. It's just wide of the post. Well, that was close. I'm not sure that Alphonse Areola had that covered. Ballard got the better of a physical tussle with Thomas Soucek. Got his head onto it. And I think Alphonse Areola was wishing it wide rather than knowing it was wide. So in his 100th league appearance, Ballard was close to an 8th league goal. As it is, it remains 1-0. but danger there from Sunderland. A warning for the home side. Ariola's clearance is flicked on by Bowen, but only into Sunderland possession, and here is Ballard once more. English-born Ballard, but Northern Ireland international. Another big World Cup playoff coming up next month in the colours of the Green and White Army. Souček just gets to a ball ahead of his man, but Sunderland recycle into the West Ham half. Bowen gives the ball away once more. Enzo Lefay is onto it, just forward in the centre circle. Hugh now looking to play it out wide, but Crescencio Somerville intercepts his pass, and Somerville now tries to escape down the left. Ballard gets something of a challenge onto it, and it's out for a throw. If he can skip past Ballard there, Somerville would have been able to see Robin Rhodes. The whites of the Sunderland posts. Ballard did just enough. So West Ham half, long ball forward to the right hand side, but it's far too long. Rhodes is out of his penalty area to clear left footed over the halfway line. Bounces beyond Mundle. Broby has it under pressure from Mavropanos, and Mavropanos has been too physical. Broby did really well, very strong in the upper body. Brian Broby looks as if he be out of place in a boxing ring with his powerful sternum. He can hold off the taller man there. That's what he's so good at, just holding up play, allowing others to join in. If you get too tight to him, he's smart enough to roll you as well. So he's a headache for his marker. Free kick was taken short. Hume will now deliver it into the penalty area. It's headed away quite powerfully by Mavropanos towards the far side, and someone will allow it to go out for a throw. Regis Labrie, hands in pockets, taking notes of this stage. So a sign of another throw, which they've taken short this time, but they can deliver a cross in from the right now. Headed away by Souček, who was strong at the centre of the penalty area. Sunderland have had to retreat all the way back to Roves, who is hurried into his clearance by a flying challenge from Pablo, I think it was. Ball back into the West Ham half, but Bowen is sent sprawling by a push from Dan Ballard, and that will be a free kick to West Ham. On to the good. A game which has produced plenty of chances. We're seeing the goal again from Crescencio Somerville. Really good leap by him. He's, as I say, not the tallest of men, but he rose well. Powered his header above the hands of Roves, but a lovely assist for Bowen. That's 102 assists for him in Premier League history. It's a magnificent tally. Here is Wan-Bissaka skipping beyond the tackle. Jared Bowen, Wan-Bissaka's carried on his run down this right hand side. He's almost into West Ham's final third. Pablo now to the right of the penalty area. Exchanges passes with Wan-Bissaka. Back to Manuel Fernandes. 35 yards out. Crescencio Somerville approaching the left-hand edge. Gives it inside. West Ham player goes sprawling, and that's a penalty. Well, that's a rash tackle. Defender shakes his head. But Thomas Bramall, who I said had given 4 penalties in his last 6 games, has pointed to the spot once more. He's telling the players it will be checked. Scarles went into the box. Well, I'm looking at that again, and I'm not so sure, you know. I think Scarles went looking for contact, and I think he was going down before the tackle came in. So I think that might be harsh on Hume. Having said that, the defender did dangle a leg initially, and that always invites a player to go over. So will it be overturned or not? Well, Bowen has got the ball in his hand. Crescencio Somerville was protecting the penalty spot. And I think the check's been done and cleared. And therefore the penalty will stand. Well, this is a big moment. Ronaldo Mandava is still arguing with referee Bremmel, as is Mukiele. But I don't think he's going to repent of his decision and change. So Jared Bowen is going to have the chance to double West Ham's money here at the London Stadium. It will be Jared Bowen up against Robin Rofes to put West Ham 2 to the good inside half an hour. Can the England man get the better of Robin Rofes, the Dutch under-21 international? Up steps Bowen and scores. West Ham are 2 ahead at the London Stadium. It was a good penalty because Rofes guessed where he was going, but it was right in the corner and he couldn't get down in time with his left hand. And so Hume's tackle proves costly, and West Ham have clear water here in the Olympic Park. It's a really good penalty, right into the side netting. Away to Rofes' left. Couldn't reach it. Nuno Espirito Santo wasn't even looking. Sitting in his seat in the dugout, he was looking down at the ground. He daren't look. But Bowen didn't miss. And West Ham, who could have gone 2 ahead earlier, but for Pablo's glaring miss, are now 2 to the good. And Sunderland's woeful form on the road looks set to continue. They had chances of their own at 1-0 down. 2-0 when you've only won 1 league game away all season looks a long way to come back from. Let's see if they can. West Ham pick the ball up from the restart. Somerville on the left-hand side skips away from Ballard, who trips him, and the card's coming out. The card is out for the Northern Ireland international. He says it's my first challenge, but it wasn't a good one. Somerville had poked the ball past him. Ballard trod on the winger's foot. This is 5th booking of the season. We're past the point where 5 bookings earned you a suspension. Regis Labrie has returned to his seat in the Sunderland dugout, and he looks somewhat nonplussed at this point. He's going to have to come up with quite a plan if Sunderland can get back in this game. So a free kick to West Ham. It's about 10 yards in from the far touchline, just short of the edge of the centre circle in the Sunderland half. West Ham send the big men forward. It's delivered in to the edge of the penalty area. Soucek gets the first header. Dangerous here. Flicked off by Castellanos. It was a weak header into the hands of Rofes. And it remains 2-0 as we tick past the half hour here at the London Stadium on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Thanks for your company this lunchtime. Rofes restarts. Gets the ball out to the far side to Ballard. Oh, giving it away again, Sunderland. And West Ham can attack the final third once more with Somerville. Somerville gets the shot in. It's blocked out for a corner. The Sunderland body language isn't great at the moment, and the West Ham fans are right up. Haven't had too much to cheer at the London Stadium this season, but the Claret and Blue are in full-throated voice now. They have a corner on the left-hand side, which is going to be taken by Crescencio Somerville. They've got 6 in the box, West Ham. In it comes. Rofes punches clear to the edge of the area. Can they re-deliver it, West Ham? Well, they've tucked it back towards the halfway line. Aaron Wan-Bissaka. The big men have stayed forward. Bowen's come deep. back to Wan-Bissaka, the former Manchester United and Crystal Palace right back, of course. Sunderland squeezing them out, and the big men retreating back to their normal positions. Straight to this right-hand side. Bowen jumped for it, but didn't get it. A word with his marker, who he felt pulled him over from behind. Referee didn't agree. It's a throw to Sunderland, about 15 yards from their left corner flag. West Ham 2, Sunderland 0. Jared Bowen with goal and assist. The cross for Somerville's opening header. Penalty after the rash challenge by Hume. Sunderland, a lot of work to do to be back in this contest. Dava takes the throw. Broby contests it, but it comes off him rather than Mavropanos. The throw to West Ham, but it won't be there. Wan-Bissaka was looking to steal about 10 yards there. He still stole about 5. Is poked forward towards Pablo or Socek, who goes down under challenge, playing the ball through to Robin Roves. No whistle from Thomas Bramall on this occasion. 5 penalties in his last 7 Premier League games awarded by Thomas Bramall. I think that one was debatable, but once it's been given, I don't think it was going to be overturned. Here is Roves to Alderetta. Sunderland desperately looking for a goal back before half-time. Enzo Lefay takes that nicely on the left-hand side. He's faced by Wan-Bissaka, and Dava runs ahead of Lefay. Instead he pokes it back to Mundle. Mundle's on the edge of the box. West Ham force him back out again. Ballard plays it to Mukiele. Mukiele to the edge of the area. And looked to take it on, but Tadibo got a foot in. He's played it backwards, and West Ham hoist it clear to the halfway line. Over the head of Pablo, though. And, played forward again by Sunderland towards the edge of the box. Broby's gone down off the ball. West Ham continue with Pablo on this right-hand side. He holds the ball up, runs for help. Fernandez just over the halfway line. Little drag back takes it away from Broby, who's back on his feet. Socek to Fernandez, just to the right of the centre circle. Sprays the ball out to the left-hand touchline. Somerville is there. Back to Socek. Playing out to this right-hand touchline, and Bowen can take on his man again, and he's got him on toast, really. He's brought down once again, and Mandava's going in the book. Well, that's going to make his job of marking Bowen even harder for the rest of the game. Bowen just ran outside him, and Mandava pulled him back by the arm. I'm afraid, from Sunderland's perspective, that Jared Bowen has got his man on toast, as we always used to say. If you don't know that expression, it just means that he's had far too many tricks for the Sunderland fullback. Also back from AFCON, of course, after which he retired from international football. So just focusing on Sunderland, and he needs to have his wits about him here. It's a free kick, about 10 yards from the byline, and 7 or 8 yards outside the box. Swung in by West Ham towards the near post. It's headed away by Enzo Lefay. Another throw. 9 minutes to go to half-time. West Ham 2 goals to the good. Wanting to take that lead into the interval. And Wan-Bissaka's coming forward to take this throw in to Bowen down by the byline. Headed back to Bowen again. This time Mandava does get his body between the England man and the ball. Lofts it away towards the halfway line. West Ham put it out of play for a throw. So a small victory for Mandava on that occasion. Seeing pictures again of Bowen's penalty that made it 2-0. Really good pen from Bowen. Just slid it wide of Rofes' left hand. So we can clear another ball from near their own box. Strong challenge from Scarles and a good one. Castellanos now to the left of the penalty area, into the penalty area to Somerville. He tried to return it to Castellanos and Sunderland cleared. Broby again holding the ball up to ward off Mavropanos. He did well there. Hume has the ball. Mukiele. Broby's gone down off the ball once again. Another tussle around the centre circle. Sunderland have put the ball out for a throw. Broby's saying he wants a free kick for the challenge on him. Well, he's not going to get it because the referee said, well look, I played the advantage. You won. Therefore nothing comes of it. Long clearance from Alphonse Areola. Headed on by Sunderland back into the West Ham half. Todibo is strong though and escapes into the Sunderland half. Here's Somerville attacking again down that left hand side. West Ham have had lots of joy out wide, both with Somerville and with Bowen. Sunderland have struggled to contain the Hammers in wide positions. Here is Somerville again, and he's beyond Hume briefly, cuts inside onto his right foot, couldn't get the shot off. Fernandez has it. His pass just about evades referee Bremmel. Sunderland managed to clear. Enzo Lefebvre will now stride forward. Here's Broby in the centre circle. Sends it wide for Mundle, but he's overhit that. He's out for a throw. Well, that was not so clever from Ryan Broby. He got too much on that. It was a promising opportunity as well for Mundle on this left-hand side, because he was well ahead of Wan-Bissaka, who was trying to recover his ground. The pass went awry. So having once more in their back line with Ballard. Ballard rolls the ball to his right hand side. So slow the game to walking pace for a moment. Ballard once more. Loretta just short of the halfway line on this near side. Sunderland left. Mundle just over the halfway line, but back to Lefebvre. He's trying to limp the play up for Sunderland and give them some cohesion. They need a little of that. Mayenda tries to slip his way past his marker, who is Fernandez, but Fernandez got a foot on it and put him out of play. Inside the West Ham half on the far side, Sunderland right. Sunderland to take a throw. Mukiele puts it, throws it short, gets it back again, looks to attack down the right hand side. Challenge comes in from Somerville. Good challenge as well. Gets it off Mukiele and out for a goal kick. So Somerville's having the better of that little tussle. Mukiele gets himself to his feet. Gets his finger in the direction of the assistant referee. To watch that, some referees would view that as dissent. So it's to be wary of repeating that feat. 5 minutes to half time. West Ham 2, Sunderland 0. Home side firmly in control at the London Stadium. Played by Alphonse Areola. His early save from Noah Siddiqui looking all the more valuable now that West Ham are 2 to the good. Here's Mundle though, heading the ball inside. He's looking for Enzo Lefebvre, but Jared Bowen got the better of it. Beat 2 players, was stopped by a third and stopped illegally, says Thomas Bremmel. So it's a free kick to West Ham, just short of the halfway line. They look really up for this today, West Ham. Clearly been a little bit buoyed by the result at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium last week. Although they didn't start particularly well in the first 7 or 8 minutes, since then they've really got the bit between their teeth. Long free kick out to the left-hand touchline, headed away by Sunderland over the far side for a throw to the Hammers. Scarles looks like he's going to take it. his place today, Skulls, despite the return from AFCON of Al Haji Malik Diouf, who was another one of the victorious Senegal squad, of course. He's out on his near side now for another throw to West Ham. I suspect Nuno Espirito Santo just wants to get in at half-time at 2-0. In fact, probably both managers would pretty much settle for getting in at 2-0 now, although perhaps Regis Labrie would prefer his side to half the deficit before half-time. Well, he definitely would, but certainly doesn't want any more damage, and there might be some damage here because Crescencio Somerville's escaped down the left again. He's got Castellanos inside him. Castellanos got it onto his right foot and tried a shot. Now a shot from distance. What a goal that is! That's a screamer from Manuel Fernandes. And West Ham are 3 up at the London Stadium. They're in dreamland here, the men in claret and blue. Well, they haven't seen a day like this for a while in East London, and they're having a party. That is a screamer from Manuel Fernandes. The shot from Castellanos was blocked. It came out to Fernandes, who was, what, 25, perhaps more yards from goal. Let's have a look at this. It was a long ball forward in the first place towards Somerville, who was onside on the far side. If it had gone straight to Castellanos, he wouldn't have been. He pulled it back to Castellanos. His shot was blocked by Ballard. It came out to Fernandes. That's nearly 30 yards. And he absolutely lashed it beyond the right hand of Roofs. I think it may have kissed the inside of the post on the way in. He did actually get a touch on it, Roofs, with the right hand, but he couldn't stop it. Doesn't touch the post, in fact, but nestles into the back of the net. And have West Ham settled the points before half-time. West Ham 3, Sunderland 0. And the bubbles are well and truly pretty bubbles in the air at the moment in East London. Well, Sunderland lost their last trip to the capital 3-0 at Brentford. If they're not careful, this could be an awful lot worse. Here's Enzo Lefebvre. Back to Alderete. Alderete to Ballard. There'll be a few inquests at half-time in that Sunderland dressing room. Because since they gave away the second goal, they've not been good at all. It's a long trip from the northeast to get walloped in this fashion. The body language wasn't good before the third goal. Well, Granit Xhaka watches on, and the absence of their talismanic skipper is telling here. It really is. Alderete with a long ball forward towards Broby. It's actually headed behind for a corner, so there is a chance for Sunderland to get something on the board before the break. We've ticked up to the 45-minute mark. I thought there'll be a few minutes of time added on because we had the VAR check for the penalty. There's 3 minutes, in fact, so plenty of time in stoppage time for Sunderland to get one back. The fade to put in the corner from the left, in it comes. It's headed away beyond the edge of the area, retrieved by Sunderland, but only sent back to Robin Roves, who hasn't had a first half like this for a while. Very good in goal. Long ball forward by Sunderland again towards the edge of the box, but it's over Ballard, and Todibo ducks underneath it, knowing that there's no one beyond the Northern Ireland international. I think he got a shout there from his goalkeeper Alphonse Ariola. As a result, it went out for a goal kick. So one of the 3 added minutes has elapsed. And Nuno Espirito Santo will be delighted with this. If they could keep this lead, West Ham, they'd only be 2 points behind Nottingham Forest before they kick off against Brentford. So they're doing their best to put those above them under pressure. Drag a few more into the relegation picture as well. If West Ham can keep this result, and it's despite Sunderland's Successful season thus far. It's a lot to expect them to come from 3 down away from home, where they've won only once all season. There is Bowen now trying to move towards the penalty area again, and he's been hacked down by Mandava. A few West Ham players suggesting to the referee that was a bit naughty. Well, it was a bit naughty. He's brought Bowen to ground. Definitely contact made. Mandava told Bowen to get up as if he was faking it, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't. Nuno Espirito Santo wasn't very happy with that challenge. He was waving his arms in protest. Well, Nuno Espirito Santo's now issuing a few instructions. VAR had a little look at that challenge. They've obviously decided it's not as serious as it might have been. But it is a free kick to West Ham, and a chance for a fourth before the interval. Fernandez to take the free kick into the penalty area. It's too short. It's headed away. Enzo Lafay. West Ham send the ball all the way back to Alphonse Areola. Just touches it off to his left to Skulls. Ball forward to Crescencio Somerville. Inside to Todibo. Back to Somerville again. And, I think the half-time whistle has gone a little early, because I'm not sure we played the 3 minutes of time added on. But the half-time whistle has certainly come, and that's the best half of football this season for West Ham. They took the lead through Crescencio Somerville's header after a cross from the byline from Jared Bowen, and went 2 up when Bowen slotted home a penalty after 28 minutes after a trip by Trey Hume. And 2 minutes before the end of normal time in the first half, Fernandez sent in a screamer from 30 yards, which beat Rofe away to his right. Pablo had missed a sitter earlier in the half for West Ham, so they might have had 4. Ballard's header was inches wide at the other end for Sunderland, and Siddiqui forced a really good stop from Alphonse Areola when the score was 0-0. That could prove to be quite important in the final reckoning. But West Ham are flying at half-time. West Ham 3, Sunderland 0. Join us for the second half shortly. Well, welcome back everyone to the second half of our lunchtime kickoff here on Saturday afternoon in the UK between West Ham and Sunderland, and it's been a horror first half for Sunderland at the London Stadium. They trail by 3-0 thanks to strikes from Crescencio Somerville, Jared Bowen from the spot, and an absolute screamer from Manuel Fernandez. And that has provoked Regis Lebris, I think, to make a triple. Bobby is one of those who's coming into the fray. It's Hume, Mundle and Mandava who've come off. I'm not surprised that Mandava's off. He was given a tousing by Jared Bowen in the first half. Diarra and Sirkin are the other 2 players to enter the fray for Sunderland, who trail, as I say, by 3-0 as we get the second half underway here at the London Stadium. West Ham now kicking from given a free kick, which Sunderland want to take quickly. You get the impression that Regis Lebris has told his side to up the intensity. in a bid to get back in the contest. But they're going to need something of a miracle now. Mayenda's won a throw on this near side, which has been thrown back to Dan Ballard. They'll need a goal very quickly. Mukiele up this right-hand touchline, striding forward. He's got men ahead of him. Swung it to the left-hand side. Wan-Bissaka wins the header. Drops for Sirkin, but he's challenged by Jared Bowen. It's out on the far side. I think it's just a throw rather than a free kick to Sunderland for Bowen's challenge. In fact, the last touch came off Sirkin, so it's a West Ham throw. They've hoisted a ball towards the halfway line. Sunderland have won it back. Sunderland actually started the first half very well and had the first big chance through Noah Siddiqui, which forced a really good stop from Alphonse Areola, but after they went 1-0 down, it was a bit of a different story. Body language was poor before half-time. Ballard's long ball forward down the Sunderland left. It's headed out by Wan-Bissaka for a throw. In the Championship, Middlesbrough well ahead at half-time as well, leading Preston by 3-0. And Mill will lead Charlton 1-0 in the South London derby. Here is Mayenda on this near side, the Sunderland right. It's back with Mukiele. Well, they got in each other's way then, the two Sunderland players. They've managed to keep the ball, but falls right back into their own half with Ballard. In fact, the ball had gone out of play on the far side. They didn't keep it in. Siddiqui didn't keep it in, and so it's a throw to West Ham. Regis Labrie won't want to see that sloppiness, having made a triple substitution. As I say, I'm not surprised that Mandava was hooked at half-time. He had a horrendous first half. Hume didn't have the much better one. They were torn to pieces in wide areas by Jared Bowen and Crescencio Somerville. So, fresh legs on in that department for Sunderland. Regis Labrie obviously felt the two substitutes certainly couldn't do any worse, and I think he probably has a point. West Ham have won a ball in centre field again. Cynthia Somerville back by Souček to Todibo, who had a good first half for West Ham. Several good interceptions. He was strong. There was a nice turn from him there as well to get away from his marker. The ball forward wasn't good though. He's got a chance to retrieve it. West Ham have won the ball back. Almost collided with each other there, the two West Ham players, but Fernandez has gone down under challenge from Ryan Broby. He's got a whack in the shin, I think, from Broby on that occasion. Tackle across the shin. I don't think there was any malicious intent from Broby. He was just trying to be competitive, and Fernandez is helped to his feet by the Sunderland players. So a free kick to West Ham, midway inside their own half, just left of centre, and leave it for Alphonse Areola, who hasn't had much to do since his early save. There was a header from Ballard that went wide that he probably wouldn't have got had it been on the right side of the post, but other than that, it's been a pretty dominant display from West Ham. Wan-Bissaka hoists the ball up in the air, Sunderland clear towards the halfway line. Mavropanos needs to be careful here under pressure from Broby. He's hit something of an up and under. Todibo tries to bring it down this left-hand touchline. Crescencio Somerville wins the ball back after Sunderland threatened to steal it. He's back with Alphonse Areola once more. 5 minutes of the second half gone here at the London Stadium. West Ham 3, Sunderland 0. West Ham will move to within 2 points of Nottingham Forest if they hold on to this lead. Nottingham Forest are at Brentford, of course, tomorrow. So They'll have 24 hours to sweat on the fact that they're being dragged back towards the relegation zone. Leeds are 3 points further clear, of course. But they're at Everton on Monday. Fernandez sprays a ball from left to right, taken on the chest beautifully by Bowen. Bowen back inside to Fernandez, and Fernandez now sends it left to Somerville, who's got plenty of room to run into. He's reached the edge of the area, played the ball forward. Castellanos just about keeps it in on the byline. Ballard slides in, clears the ball from to outside the area, but Fernandez is back on it again. That's a lovely ball to Somerville, who's inside the area. Touched it off to his right, but it didn't find Pablo. Now they try and make progress upfield to Sunderland. They've won a throw. It was good work by Diarra to make progress over the halfway line. Sunderland need a spark from somewhere in this game. Nuno Espirito Santo is still urgently on the edge of his technical area. Doesn't want to leave anything to chance here, the 51-year-old Portuguese. Took over here in November, just a couple of weeks after being sacked by Nottingham Forest, who ironically are now the team that West Ham are trying to reel in at the foot. Here are Sunderland on the ball once more. Playing it over the halfway line with Aldereta. He's looking for the run of Talby, but Talby couldn't bring it under his spell, and Wan-Bissaka sees it over the dead ball line for a goal kick. So triple substitution at half time with Sirkin, Diarra and Talby thrown into the action. Hasn't produced fruit thus far in the first 7.5 minutes of the second half. The one word of caution, which I'm sure West Ham fans are aware of, is they've conceded 26 goals in the second half so far this season. That's the most of anybody in the Premier League. So Nuno Espirito Santo would give much to improve that record. Looking for their first clean sheet in 18 games under the Portuguese. They haven't so far, but they've got work to do to keep hold of it. They don't want to give Sunderland a sniff in this game. Sunderland have been good from behind in the league this season. Here's Broby tussling with Todibo. Broby got the better of that. Here's Mayenda laying it down the right-hand touchline, but West Ham with a chance to clear from their left-back area. Souček needs to be careful, but he's been fouled by Broby. Broby was sneaking up behind him, trying to pick his pocket, but Souček turned to his left at the last minute, and Broby came through and caught him, which enables West Ham to work the ball away to Jared Bowen. Bowen to Pablo. Pablo's been wrestled off it though by Enzo Lefebvre. Sunderland at least competing strongly at the start of this second half. Noah Siddiqui, Enzo Lefebvre out to that far side to Sirkin, back to Siddiqui, who's playing a little deeper now than he was in the first period. Enzo Lefebvre once more onto the ball. Ballard to the right of the centre circle. Plays it down this right-hand touchline. Mayenda trying to take on Skulls, but the youngster gets a tackle in. It's out for a throw. 54.5 minutes played here on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service at the London Stadium. West Ham 3, Sunderland 0. Great to have your company this lunchtime. Plenty more to come on Flash Score during the afternoon. Plenty of Premier League 3 o'clock kickoffs. Burnley Spurs, Fulham Brighton, Man City Wolves, and Bournemouth against Liverpool at 5:30. Throw comes into the West Ham penalty area, heading back out again. Work to the halfway line by West Ham. Somerville's giving chase. Well, he got in front of Mukiele, but Mukiele managed to turn on the ball and regain possession. Sunderland play it forward. Broby holds off his man, does well. Enzo Lefay gives it away though. Jared Bowen can run it clear to the halfway line. Lefay gives chase. Bowen still has it on that right hand side. Lefay got a touch, and the last touch came off Bowen. Out for a throw. Bowen's got his arms outspread, saying, how on earth is that their throw? But clearly the assistant, who would, to be fair to him, was right up with play, thought that the last touch came off the West Ham man. He was a lot closer than I was, so far be it for me to argue with him. But in a way, Bowen's protest simply fired up the West Ham fans a little bit more, and they've been in good voice anyway. West Ham have the ball on the halfway line with Todibo. Todibo to Mavropanos. Mavropanos down the right hand touchline. Pablo competes for it with Aldereta. It's come to Bowen into the penalty area. Pablo was held off by Aldereta, but he's got the ball back. Siddiqui comes in to challenge him, and Pablo fouls him. Pulls him back by the shirt. There's a chance for West Ham. They had three players advancing towards the box. It was Castellanos, Pablo and Jared Bowen. In the end, Aldereta did well actually to get his body between Pablo and the ball. Otherwise that could have been a big problem. As it is, it's a free kick to Sunderland, just a few yards in from the far touchline, 20 yards from their byline. Rose comes out of goal to take, headed by Mavropanos though. Headed back by Sunderland again. Here they come into the final third. Shot from distance, comes off to Debo and behind for a corner. It's Diarra's strike. Didn't have much power in it, but Todibo was sort of running across the line of the ball and it went out for a corner kick. So a chance from a set piece for Sunderland then, with this corner from the right. If they could get one now, they could send some nerves and EBGBs through the West Ham defence. Enzo Lefay with the corner kick, headed away by Todibo to the edge of the area, back in by Sunderland. It's come to Diarra, who tries to loft it towards goal, but Castellanos is in the way. Sends Wan-Bissaka running up the right hand side. He's almost reached halfway, turns away from a challenge, does well. There's Wan-Bissaka. What can he do with it now? He's turned away from a challenge again. He's put under too much pressure by Mukiele. And that's a free kick to West Ham, almost on the halfway line, on the far side, the right. Having a good game, Wan-Bissaka. Some West Ham fans will look at this performance and go, where has it been? Well, it is against the Sunderland side who struggled on the road. That's one caveat you give it. Here's Somerville again, running towards the left edge. Can he get across in? He does, and it's headed behind by Ballard for a corner. Well, that's better from West Ham, who haven't been quite as threatening since the break. They didn't start the first half particularly well, and then came to life. So Somerville will put a ball in from the left-hand side. Mavropanos and Todibo have come up from the back, as has Souček. There's plenty of height there for West Ham to cause some trouble. In comes the corner to the near post. It's headed away to the edge. Shot comes in, but it's not a very good one on this particular occasion from Fernandez. He hit a screamer in the first half, but he rather got underneath that one and sort of dinked it towards the goal, and it was well wide of Roth's left-hand post. So it remains 3-0. Here is Roths now, setting Sunderland off again, giving it to Ballard. Ballard's ball up the left-hand side, looking for Broby. Across comes Scarles. Mavropanos, it was cool from him. Getting the ball out of the penalty area to Souček. Wan-Bissaka to Mavropanos. Dinked ball forward to the halfway line, intercepted by Sirkin, but he can only send it out for a throw on halfway. Jared Bowen shepherding the ball out, the Hammers skipper, doing enough to put his man under pressure and then shield the ball away from the fullback so that he couldn't poke it forward. West Ham 3, Sunderland 0. Ball forward from Sunderland again though. Here they come once more. Mayenda. Been brighter since half time, as indeed they had to be. Skulls breaks up that particular attack. It's a half play for a throw just inside the Sunderland half. Thrown back by Diarra to Groves. Groves gives it back to Diarra. Diarra sends it left. Alderetta over the halfway line to Talby. Tried to return it to Talby, did Sirkin, but Talby had run ahead of the ball. And therefore, it's back in West Ham possession. Fernandez with the ball forward, touched back by Castellanos. Souček picks it up. He and Bowen almost got in each other's way. There's Pablo on the far touchline. Now Bowen to Souček on that far side. Wan-Bissaka. West Ham just playing a little bit of keep ball, trying to take the sting out of any attempt by Sunderland to revive their situation. Sunderland have headed it out on this near side for a throw. West Ham pretty much keeping Sunderland at arm's length in the second half. It's a much more even game than it was in the first, but Sunderland not doing anything at this stage to really hurt the Hammers, and obviously they're 3 in arrears, so unless they do something fairly soon, the game will be well beyond them if it isn't already. There's Wan-Bissaka, just touches the ball inside for Panos to Debo, sends it to this near touchline. Skulls wins a throw off Mayenda. That's all West Ham need to do really, is just manage the game and control the ball. Sunderland have got to find the invention to get themselves back in the contest. Back to Alphonse Areola in the West Ham goal. Very bright yellow kit today, matching the brighter weather here in London, although it has clouded over a little since we started playing. Fernandez, that's another good ball into the centre circle. Worked out to Pablo on this left-hand side. Move forward to Crescencio Somerville, left of the penalty area. Cunning trick inside his man. He plays it back to the edge. Shot comes in. It's quite a comfortable one. Castellanos lifted the shot. Gross was always behind it. Reached up above his head and claimed the strike. No great pressure on him there. Well past the hour though, 63 and a half minutes gone at the London Stadium. West Ham 3, Sunderland 0. No real sign of a Sunderland revival as yet. Ballard, that's a good ball to Mayenda. Mayenda can enter the final third, but he's stopped in his tracks by a sliding challenge from Fernandez. Breaks to Mukiele, who has to retreat back into, well, play a ball back into his own half to Ballard. Ballard gave it to Roves, and now it's with Alderetta, who crosses the halfway line. Lefay touches it back to him. That's a good ball forward. Roby, though, has wandered into an offside position, and the flag is up. The flag raised by Mr. Hatzidakis. So a free kick to West Ham. And the frustration shown by Broby. Again, the body language of Sunderland wasn't particularly good in response to that. West Ham are going to leave the free kick to Alphonse Areola. They might need to get on with it because they don't want to be delaying the restart too much. Referees are a lot more sharp on that this season, of course. Just have to release the ball within a certain period. 8 seconds after bringing it under control. Siddiqui was brought down from behind there by Pablo, but referee Bramall played on because Sunderland is still in possession. Diarra plays a ball up the line, that's good. Mukiele across the box, chance here, goal! That's a lovely goal from Brian Broby. Sunderland are back in the game. West Ham's quest for a clean sheet goes on. Brian Broby with the header. His 5th goal of the season has given Sunderland a squeak. That's come almost from nowhere. It was good work by Diarra and a strong run from Mukiele. His cross was an excellent one. And Broby was about 8 yards out and planted the header beyond Alphonse Areola, who had no chance. And all of a sudden, there's a glimmer of light from the men from the Stadium of Light. West Ham 3, Sunderland 1, 66 minutes on the clock. Well, that's a great header from Broby. I said earlier on he's a difficult man to play against. I think he'll have a very good career in the Premier League. I also think that he should be in Ronald Koeman's squad for the World Cup and potentially in his first 11. Well, how will West Ham respond? Will the nerves set in for the home side? It's produced a little bit of hush around the London Stadium, as you might expect. It was a lovely goal. Great run by Mukiele. Means West Ham still have only 1 clean sheet this season, and that's among the worst in the top 5 leagues in Europe. A few other sides have one. Only one side in the whole of Europe has none. That is in the Bundesliga. Well, here is Diarra once more. Can Sunderland build on that goal? West Ham 3, Sunderland 1. Mukiele now on the ball for Sunderland. It's gone to the far side. Aldereta will loft the ball into the box. It's too long this time. And Areola has it. He'll try and take a few seconds off the clock. Callum whusun is preparing to come on. He was preparing to come on before the goal, in fact. So I assume that's probably going to be for either Castellanos or Pablo. Probably Castellanos. So an experienced head coming onto the field to potentially hold the ball up for West Ham now that they're under a little more pressure. Bowen turns away from a challenge on the far side. Pablo loses out. Castellanos tried to regather it, but his attempts to do so only presented the ball back to Sunderland. There's Ballard in the centre circle. Mukiele. Enzo Lefebvre found a little pocket. He sent Diarra running forward again. Here's Mayenda into the final third. He's almost on the right-hand edge. Now Diarra plays the ball again. It comes off to Debo and out for a throw. Todibo gestures to the West Ham fans to give them a little more support. We're going to have a double change actually for West Ham. I think we might be going to see El Hadji Malik Diouf come on as well as whusun, but we're going to get the throw first from Mukiele, which is almost level with the 18-yard area, and it comes. It's headed on by Sunderland, by Enzo Lefebvre, but West Ham smuggle it out of the penalty area. But all of a sudden, there's a little bit of tension in West Ham's play. Somerville does well there to screen the ball out of play for a throw to West Ham, but they look a little jittery, as you might expect, now that Sunderland have a goal on the board. Well, it's going to be Pablo to come off for whusun. And who is coming off for Malik Diouf? It may well be Scarles. If it's a like-for-like swap, it will be Scarles. Pablo acknowledges the applause of the crowd. Scarles it is who's coming off to take his leave. So El Hadji Malik Diouf, fresh from his success for Senegal, comes on the pitch. And he'll be up against his teammate at the AFCON, Diarra. So that'll be an interesting tussle. Juif's going to take the throw, so he's going to be straight into the game. Throws it up the line. It's over the head of Somerville. Tries to win the tackle. Ballard gets in and wins the ball first, and I think Castellanos is going in the book for that challenge on Ballard, and he is. So Tati Castellanos, the Argentine, is in the book for that tackle. Well, yeah, it wasn't a good one. Went flying in. A little reckless. Don't think he made that much contact, which probably prevented it from being a worse offence, as it were. Feeling there might be a sort of rain falling at London Stadium now as this free kick comes in towards the edge of the penalty area, headed on, but too far ahead of Roby on this occasion. West Ham need to settle themselves a little. Wan-Bissaka with the ball forward, looking for Wilson. I'm surprised the flag didn't go up against Wilson there. He looks as if he was offside, but it didn't matter because he didn't make anything of it in the end. And Sunderland can begin again. They've got 18.5 minutes plus stoppage time to find 2 goals for an unlikely draw. It would be something of a disaster for West Ham after their tremendous first half, but they've nowhere near reached those heights since. I think sometimes when you get 3 in the first half, especially when you've been struggling, the tendency is to think we'd better not do anything wrong, and what happens in the course of that is that you don't do the right things that you were doing in the first half. Here's Lafay out to this far side, and Diarra back to Lafay again. Lafay to Ballard, right at the centre circle. Square pass from him, finds Aldereta. Aldereta chips it forward, looking for Broby. He couldn't bring that under control, and Wilson was then bundled over for a free kick to West Ham. Sunderland 3, West Ham 1. Here in the Saturday lunchtime kick-off at the London Stadium on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. West Ham bidding to close the gap on Nottingham Forest to just 2 points. With a victory, it will pull them further clear of Burnley and Wolves. Wolves, surely, despite their recent revival, already doomed. Burnley heading in that direction. Aldereta clears the ball up the left-hand touchline. West Ham keep it in play, but only present it to Sunderland. Enzo Lafay. It's a long raking pass out to the left-hand side, but Torby doesn't make a good job of controlling it, and he's put it out for a throw on the far side to West Ham. And Wan-Bissaka with it. Souček hooks the ball forward, but only out of play near the halfway line. A throw to Sunderland. West Ham have become tentative here. Sunderland smell a little bit of weakness, I think. They're about to make another substitution. The Black Cats. They have taken off Mayenda, and they've brought on Wilson Isidore, so certainly an out-and-out striker for a more wide player. Tati Castellanos also comes off, applauding the fans as he goes. And Freddie Potts comes on. Well, those 2 substitutions tell you everything about this game. West Ham no longer bossing it. Take off a forward who's just been booked to bring on another player in midfield and try and shut the spaces down. Sunderland bring on a forward because they're 2 goals behind and they need a goal. Well, they've won a throw in an attacking position, Sunderland. About 20 yards from West Ham's left corner flag. Mukiele, who claimed the assist for Broby's goal, will throw the ball in. Ballard is up. Plenty of jostling in the 18-yard area. In comes the throw. El Hadji Malik Diouf. gets rid of the ball. Roofs will send it to Diarra, who's the deepest outfield player, who hoists another ball into the box, but Alphonse Areola will jump and claim and fall forwards so that he has to get up again, which takes a few seconds off the clock. Here's Thomas Souček, who's playing deeper and deeper in this match. West Ham almost in a back five now. Can't help feeling that their cautious approach to this second half has invited some trouble and certainly made their task a little more difficult. Very difficult though, as I said a few minutes ago, when you've been struggling so much to have the bravery to keep your first half impetus going. But here is Somerville. Well, there was a flick on by Wilson. Wilson's been penalised for backing into his man. And it's a free kick to Sunderland, down by this near touchline. It's pulled back Dan Ballard by the arm. It wasn't so obvious in fast motion, but the slow motion showed it pretty clearly. It's Ballard again over the halfway line to Diarra. Diarra touches it off to Mukiele on this near touchline with Sunderland right. Ballard now on the halfway line. Diagonal pass back to Siddiqui, who was playing last man there for a moment. Out to the touchline and Talby. Talby back to Ballard, who almost falls over the ball in bringing it under control, but he's striding forward now. Mukiele with another ball into the box. Quite a dangerous one, but Isidore lost his footing as he went to head it, which allowed West Ham to clear, but it's going to come straight back at them. West Ham now getting deeper and deeper and deeper in their attempts to hold on to this lead. A game in which they were cruising at half-time has become heavy weather. Here's Enzo Lefebvre, that's nice. Mukiele again, he's got Diarra outside him. Tackle came in, Diarra then played it back to Siddiqui. Siddiqui to Talby. Alderetta out to the far side and Sirkin. Talby had continued his run, almost got to the byline. Souček confronted him, and the big Czech won the ball. Played it up the right-hand touchline, but too far ahead of Bowen. Sunderland have it again. Dominating possession of the ball now are the Black Cats. Here's Mukiele on the near touchline. His attempted cross is half blocked. It's out for a throw to West Ham. So a chance for a little bit of relief. 3-1. It's looking a little bit of a precarious lead. The one thing, other than the scoreline in West Ham's favour, is the clock, which is ticking down. 11 minutes to go. West Ham 3, Sunderland 1 at the London Stadium. Wilson wins a throw just over the halfway line, which now Haj Malik Diouf will come forward to take. It's been 13 minutes now since Sunderland got a goal back. Have West Ham seen off the attempted resurgence from the men in black? Thomas Souček heads the ball forward onto the head of Ballard. Diarra attempts to clear, challenged by Bowen. No foul, says the referee. It's a real skirmish in the centre of the park. Fernandez got a foot in. El Hadj Diouf to Somerville, who attempts to run in field. He's brought down by Siddiqui. That will be a free kick. Well, Mukiele's also gone down in the wake of all that. Siddiqui's been shown a yellow card, I believe. Somerville came inside. Well, he was brought down by Siddiqui, and then Mukiele came in behind him and has hurt himself in colliding with Crescencio Somerville. Siddiqui's in the book for that tackle. I'm not surprised about that. Mukiele appears to have hurt his wrist, or he already had a strapped hand. Well, it looks to me, from looking at that, as if he may have dislocated a finger, you know. The position of that finger doesn't look great. Anyway, he's not asking for any treatment at the moment, but he's in pain on the edge of the penalty area, grabbing hold of his hand. I can't imagine that feels very comfortable at all. It was already strapped. Maybe he dislocated it previously and he's popped it out again. In comes the free kick anyway. Headed up in the air by Diarra. Again, aerial from Siddiqui. Shot came in from Mavropanos. It trickled wide. Wasn't a dangerous effort. Nuno Espirito Santo chewing hard. Arms folded. Doesn't look anywhere near as comfortable as he did in the first half. His side have 8.5 minutes plus stoppage time to survive here. West Ham 3, Sunderland 1. Here is Robin Rose. Touches it to his left. Alderetta sends it to the right. Dan Ballard makes strides towards the halfway line. Comes over the halfway line now. Back to Mukiele. Diarra. Left to Alderetta. Sunderland need to create something, and create it soon if they're to get back in the contest. Enzo Lefay. Might have hit it. It was ugly. It really was. Well, Sunderland have made another swap. And I think it's Mukiele that's coming off, and he's not happy about it at all. He's remonstrating. He is definitely not happy. It's Luke O'Neill that's come on. Great servant of Sunderland football. Took a bad injury in the playoff final last year, so hasn't been seen much in league terms, and there's been talk of him leaving the Stadium of Light. Lad Luke O'Neill, he spent some time on loan at Wealdstone, which when he was a youngster, which isn't that far from where I'm commentating to you from. Really good, honest pro. Free kick in the meantime, about 5 or 6 yards forward of the centre circle in the Sunderland half, which Fernandez is going to preside over. 6 minutes with stoppage time. Fernandez dinks the ball forward, and back across the penalty area, hooked away by Sunderland. Towards the edge, here's Wilson, turns well, goes down under challenge, wants a penalty, doesn't get it. He's got his arms splayed out wide. I wonder if VAR will look at that. They might do. Here is Diarra in the meantime. There's no indication that referee Bramall's listening into VAR, so we should probably assume that if they had a cursory look, they've told him that there's nothing doing. Luke O'Neill to the centre circle. Siddiqui, Alderetta into the box, pulled away by Diouf, picked up by Ballard. O'Neill tried to. Well, the shot came in from. I don't think he intended it as a shot, but he put a ball into the box. Has that actually come off the woodwork from O'Neill? Well, it was palmed onto the woodwork, I think, by Alphonse Areola. Let's have a look. I think he gets fingertips on that. It It hits the woodwork and comes back to the West Ham keeper. Well, that would have been fluky, but it would have been very useful for Sunderland because it would have set up a grandstand finish. As it is, it remains 3-1. Goals can come in all sorts of weird, wonderful ways. And that would have been extraordinary because there's no way he intended it as a shot. He was poking it towards the penalty area. I think it skewed off his foot. All of a sudden, Alphonse Areola realised there was a problem. Got some fingers on it. West Ham have won a free kick at the other end. We were looking at those replays. Swung in from the left, far too deep. Easy catch for Rofes, who can kick clear with his left foot, deep into the West Ham half, headed out by El Hadji Diouf. Well, there's some aggro going on involving Granit Xhaka, who's in conversation with someone behind him, who I assume is going to be a West Ham fan perhaps. There's a bit of consternation going on. I'm sure someone will get to the bottom of that at some stage, but Granit Xhaka's not happy about something. Anyway, here's Ballard. Granit Xhaka getting involved in the game even when he's not playing. There's Alvaretta. To Siddiqui. Siddiqui now to Diarra. Diarra plays it wide to Luke O'Neill. Continued his run. He's by the corner flag. West Ham trying to wrestle it back. Hadji Diouf. He's done well. His body between the ball and Diarra. Forced Diarra to push him. He's given away a free kick. He's not happy with the referee for that. He was saying that the West Ham player wasn't trying to play the ball, he was just obstructing him. There's still some problems down there around the Sunderland bench. I think maybe a West Ham fan is having a bit too much to say, setting the Sunderland fans on the Sunderland players on the bench. So he might have to step in and sort this out. I think referee has stopped play temporarily. He's gone over towards the dugouts to investigate what the problem is. I think the fan has rather too much to say. Thomas Bramall and Nuno Espirito Santo are in conversation. Xhaka appears to have settled back into his seat. I think the West Ham fans are maybe baiting Granit Xhaka a little bit. It's caused consternation. Anyway, we're back underway. That'll add some time on at the end of the game. Some more time on, so we could have 5 or 6 minutes of stoppage time here quite easily. Ball is played into the right hand channel. Roofs comes out to clear the ball. Socek will get back up the line. Saka has it. It's into his own back line. From Parnos to Debo. Diouf. Sam just need to take any further sting out of the game, really. Toriola lifts the ball forward to the chest of Luke O'Neill. West Ham compete well for it and they win a throw on the halfway line. Just got to run this clock now. We're in the last minute of normal time. We're at the London Stadium. West Ham 3, Sunderland 1. The 3 points are within touching distance for the Hammers. Back-to-back wins for the first time since November. Back-to-back league wins, that is. Of course, it will be 3 wins in a row because they also won the FA Cup tie against QPR. So a little bit of momentum. Nuno Espirito Santo's side, if they can just see out these remaining minutes, to find out how many minutes added on. Fernandez has played the ball through, looking for Bowen. Tackle came in. Took the ball behind for a corner. Challenged by Ballard because Bowen was sniffing about. There's just 4 minutes. I'm surprised it isn't a bit more than that. West Ham won't care. very glad it's not going to be more than that. They can surely run down a bit more of the clock from this corner kick by playing it short. They're going to make another substitution as well. They will really understand the point of that, because surely these days referees just add the time on again, so you're not soaking up any of the added on time. Bowen's going to take the corner. Looks like he's going to swing it right in. I mean, I'm not surprised about that. I would be playing short and running down the clock, but in comes the corner anyway. Headed on. Chance to stab it home, but they can't. It's come out. Shot comes in from distance. Hits the underside of the bar. Goodness me. Roos tries to claim it. What's the referee given here? He's given a goal. He's given a fourth goal, I think. Well, no, hold on, wait a minute. Maybe he's given a push on the goalkeeper. But I think the shot again was from Fernandez. Yeah, he's given a foul by Souček. I'm not sure the ball would cross the line anyway. I'd like to see the shot again. Yeah, Souček definitely puts an arm into the midriff of Roos, but it's Fernandez shot again. It's another absolute screamer. Hit the underside of the bar. Roos was nowhere. Aldereta and Mavropanos were having a head-to-head like stags as that shot came in. So maybe the fact that he hit the underside of the bar diffused that situation, because they had to react to the ball coming back out again. Those two looked like they were about to have a set to. Which would have been pretty stupid of Mavropanos at this stage of the game. The sides almost got the points. Aldereta looked like he'd lost his cool in that situation. Anyway, nothing's come of it. Crescencio Somerville is giving way. He had a wonderful first half. Twinkling feet. Wonderful to watch. Gets a hug from his manager, and not surprisingly, twinkly feet to launch him into the air to head the opening goal. Twinkly feet to dance with too. My wife wishes I had some of those. For those of you that have never seen me dance, I don't have 2 left feet, I have 6. There's Wilson running forward, but Aldereta does enough to get the ball back to Roos. More. Last minute of added on time, there may be a little more because of the substitution. Sirkin breaks down the left, plays the ball inside. Mavropanos stabs it back out to the right, but back into Sunderland possession. Souček's gone in rather hard on his man, but the referee says play on. Thought that would be a free kick. Bowen trying to run it up the line, wins the throw. In Sunderland territory, that may be enough to see the game out. Alex Labrie knows it's another long trip home with no points. Pause from Nuno Espirito Santo, who is beginning to work some Portuguese magic here at the London Stadium. The fans are in song. The East London Choir is in full voice. Up the right hand side by West Ham, back to Roos. We've played the 4 minutes, so we're in the hands of the referee Bramall now.